Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, the weekly podcast devoted to all things spirituality and self-improvement. I'm so delighted you're here with me today. Today I wanted to talk about the importance of setting your intentions for the day. I know that I've done a podcast about this before. However, starting back to school these past 2 weeks, it has really brought to my attention the importance of setting intentions for your day. I know that I like to talk about mindfulness on here, and I think it's so incredibly important. But we often forget. Life gets so busy. There's the hustle, and we're constantly running around and trying to figure out what's going on. That self-care and goal setting and mindfulness often go to the back burner, and we just forget about it. And then what happens is we get stuck in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you're more in your emotions rather than calm and in your body. And when you're in that headspace, it's hard to make rational and logical decisions. It's hard to keep your emotions in check. And I know that better than anyone. I used to be the type of person that would fly off the handle at everything. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I still do because I'm human and every day I'm learning and I get a little bit better each day. But when you have yourself taken care of, when you're doing your self-care, when you set your intentions, when you're being fully present, it's a lot easier to not sweat the small stuff and to not let the little things get to you. And when you can maintain self-control, when you can keep your emotions in check, when you can live fully in the present moment, you just enjoy life so much more. We cause ourselves so much unnecessary stress and anxiety and worry because we're all over the place with our energy and with our thoughts. And if we can learn how to tame those, how much better would our lives be? So that's what today's episode is all about. It's about learning how to set intentions and learning how to be mindful so that you can ensure that each day is the best that it can possibly be. Because guess what? Life happens. We cannot control every little thing that happens to us. In fact, so much of life is out of our control. And that is for a reason. If life were perfect, what would we be learning? We're here to learn. We're here to learn a lesson, and Earth is the hardest school. And so things are going to be thrown at you. But when you're prepared and when you're able to really collect yourself and not be shaken off your foundation, things just get so much better. So what I want to talk to you today is about what do you do every day when you get out of bed? I just had this discussion with my students and we were laughing because I said, how do you get out of bed each day? How many of you sleep through your alarm and you sleep through the snooze button about 5 times? And about half the class raised their hand. And I had to laugh because when I was younger, that was me too. I remember when I first started teaching, I had to get up so early because I drove an hour to and from work. And I would start setting my alarm at 4:45. And that just seems crazy to think about now, but I did that every day. But every day I would hit the snooze button. But I was talking to my economics students and we were talking about opportunity cost and we were talking about trade-offs. And I was trying to prove the point that if they get up right when their alarm goes off, the trade-off is the extra sleep that they would have. But if they slept through and hit the snooze button, the trade-off would be the extra time they have in the morning. And if they had extra time, what could they do with that extra time? They could eat breakfast, they could leisurely drink their coffee, or they could go by Starbucks or get a coffee. There were so many things. And I just thought it was really interesting because we were talking about that. And a couple of mornings this week, I ended up getting up before my alarm went off, and probably 10 minutes before my alarm went off, I just woke up. That is not normal. I'm not normally a morning person. I'm what they would call in German a Morgenmuffel, which is someone who does not like getting up early. I really prefer to get up when my body is ready to get up. But I've been getting to bed early and trying to be more mindful about my evening routines. And so this morning I got up and I woke up 10 minutes before and I wasn't rushed. I had so much more time. I could make sure the dogs went outside to use the bathroom. I was able to drink my coffee a little slower. There were things that I was able to do that I don't normally do because I'm so rushed. Now I get to school early, like almost an hour early, just so I have that time to myself to prepare myself and to be ready. But how much more could I get done if I just did that at home too? Like if I allowed myself more time at home. And I used to be a person who was very much that way. I would make sure that I had enough time to drink my coffee. I would do a guided meditation in the morning. I would do my morning affirmations. And that really did help to solidify my day. When I used to have to drive an hour to and from work, I listened to podcasts that were inspiring and uplifting all the way to work. And it really set the tone for me for the day. And so I am urging you, or at least offering you maybe, this idea that what would happen if you allowed yourself just a little bit of extra time. And if you made sure that the things that you did in the morning were things that were going to set you up for success for your day. And this seems so difficult, I know, because I am the type of person that wants to get every little last bit of sleep possible. But I'll offer you this. When I went to Jamaica a few weeks ago, I went to go and tour some of the Sandals resorts because that's one of the travel suppliers that my company uses. And I had never been to Jamaica and I hadn't been to a Sandals resort before, so I really wanted to go and see what it was like and to see what my clients would experience. And I was not disappointed at all. But the last day, I had to get up early for my flight home. You have to leave the resort 5 hours before your flight because they want to make sure that you get there, which I appreciate because I don't want to be rushing when I get to the airport. But I had to get up 5 hours before the flight, which meant that I had to be out of the room by 6 a.m. And if you know me, if I'm on vacation, I'm not getting up early. That's the whole point of vacation, right? Is being able to sleep in. But I got up early and I was actually able to see the sunrise. I had a beautiful balcony and there were chairs and a table out on the balcony. Everything was quiet, but you could see the ocean. And so I just went outside on the balcony with my cup of coffee and I sat there and I just sat and I watched the sunrise and I looked at the ocean and I sat in gratitude for a few minutes for being in that place, for being able to see it and for being able to experience that. And you know, gratitude is something that truly, truly helps us to raise our vibration and to lift our mood and to realize how many blessings are around us. And I always feel like attracts like. You know me, I always talk about the law of attraction, but when you are vibrating at a high frequency, when you're seeing all the blessings around you, it's like you just keep attracting more. It's like, oh, I see that blessing. And now I can't help but everywhere I look, I just see blessings, blessing after blessing. Because the opposite happens when we see the negative, right? Oh, this always happens to me. And now we're just seeing all the things that keep always happening to you. We're attracting that. So being able to sit in some gratitude in the morning, when I have a cup of coffee, this seems so silly and you may laugh at me and that's okay if you do. But when I have a cup of coffee in the morning, there are certain days when that coffee just tastes so good, especially usually in the winter time because it's a warm cup of coffee. But I will sit there and just think to myself, oh, I'm so thankful for a good cup of coffee. Nothing can make you feel quite like a good cup of coffee. Or maybe you like sitting by the fire and you just stare at the fire and you think to yourself, nothing feels better than being near the warmth of the fire and seeing those beautiful colors of that fire. We can be amazed and mesmerized at so many things, right? We spend a lot of our time being amazed and mesmerized at those little devices we hold in our hands all day. And that's another thing about this school year is our students were not allowed to have their phones. And I cannot tell you how engaged they are and how they're participating and how much different that feels. Last year, I most of the time felt like I just wanted to walk out because I'm fighting for their attention and I might as well not even be here. I felt so useless. It felt futile. It felt like pulling teeth to get them to notice me. And this year has been completely different. And it's such a change in the attitude, because being in that atmosphere where they're asking questions and they're engaged and they're wanting to participate actually ignites a passion in me again that I thought really had died quite a while ago. This passion for teaching, because that's not something that I ever lost, I realized. It's just that I wasn't shown what was possible. And now this year I'm able to see that again. And it's amazing. And so if we can have that kind of shift to go from where we're just looking at our phones all the time to looking up and looking around and looking at the things around us like nature and the people around us and all of the things that we have, how much better could our lives be? So what I am challenging you to do this week is to think about how you get up every day and what your morning routine is, and how can you adjust that, change that, even just a little bit, so that, I don't know, maybe you allow yourself more time just to sit and have your coffee. You allow yourself time to talk to the people in your lives, like your children or your spouse or your family, or spending some time with your pets in the morning, however it is that you want to spend your time. Maybe you add in some morning affirmations. Maybe you do a little meditation before you go. But setting the intention that today is going to be a good day. In fact, it is a good day. I made a guided meditation on my YouTube channel. And I say it's a guided meditation, but you don't really need to close your eyes to do it. It's just something that you say to yourself and you listen to in the morning to help you have a good day. And I was inspired by Louise Hay and her morning meditation. And I wanted to make something similar. And so you just listen to this. And it says, today is a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. Today is my day. Good things are happening to me. The universe is blessing me. And it's all about setting that intention that why can't today be a good day? Why can't you see all of the blessings flowing in? Because the universe says that we should be abundant. And there's nothing stopping us. Usually we're the only ones getting in the way and getting in our heads. So maybe go check out that meditation. It's on my YouTube channel. You might have to search for it. I have a lot of videos there, but it's called the Morning Meditation. And I don't know, I just really love doing things like that. I usually do listen to something in the morning, and I listen to music on the way to work, and that usually puts me in a really good mood. Set your intentions. What do you want to get done today? What are your goals today? And they shouldn't be anything stressful, just things that you know you can get done. Because here's the other thing. When we set goals for ourselves and then we accomplish them and we check them off that list, we get like a rush of endorphins. Like it's an adrenaline rush. And it feels good to know, hey, I accomplished something. Because I don't know about you, but the thing that makes me the most aggravated in life is when I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. When I have a whole big to-do list and then I haven't done any of it. It frustrates me. And so one of the things that can help you and get you motivated is to write down little things that you can get accomplished and then watching yourself mark off that list. Oh, I got that done. I did that. It helps you to stay organized. And that little bit of success that you feel when you get that done is enough to really keep pushing you through the day. And it just makes you feel good. Like, yes, look what I've done. Look how much I've accomplished. And it's important to stop and take a look back at how far you've come. Because you aren't where you were 6 months ago. Most of us, we get better, right? We're in a better place. And so the universe wants you to appreciate and recognize all the work that you've done because you deserve the recognition. And it makes us feel better. I wanted to pull some cards for you today to help you get inspired and maybe to give you some messages for the upcoming week. And so the first deck I chose was Angela Rose's deck. And the very first card that came out is Soul Yes. And I love this card because we are always saying yes to everything, some of us, especially us reformed people pleasers. And when we say yes to everything and we don't say no to anything, we're saying no to ourselves because we rob ourselves of the time that we would have had to do what we want to do. And if you want to take some time sometimes just to sit on the couch and do nothing, perfectly acceptable. Sometimes that is enough. I know when I get home from teaching, I'm so tired. I just feel like I don't want anyone to talk to me. I don't want to have to make a decision. I just need some time. And which is why I've been binge watching The Gilded Age. Unfortunately, that's me, right? Like I start binge watching a show and I can't get enough. But I need something to disconnect for a little bit before I'm ready to, okay, now I'm good. Now I'm relaxed. Now I can get to the things I want to do at home. But if you say yes to everything, you're going to drain yourself. So make sure it's a soul yes. When we say yes to everything, we run ourselves empty. When you say yes to something, make it a soul yes. Begin to develop a practice of saying yes to the life that feels amazing to you. You will begin to build up confidence and self-empowerment. This means you will also need to say more no's to things that are no longer aligned with you. And I want to say something really quickly, and I know this card goes on to say this, but you do not have to come up with an excuse. You owe no one an excuse. When you say no, that's the end of the sentence. I used to always think, well, I have to come up with a good reason why I can't. No, you don't. Let go of the guilt and say no when it feels like a no. No is a complete sentence. And the mantra that goes with this card is, I have boundaries and only say yes when it feels like a soul yes. I really love that. And I think more of us need to get into the habit of looking at people and saying no. You can be really polite about it. Saying no is not a bad word, and it doesn't have to make people feel bad. Just simply say, no, I cannot do that. End of sentence. And then we have, what excuses am I making? There are always going to be distractions, worry, and fears that we will face when wanting something different in our lives. It can feel scary living in the unknown and not knowing exactly how life will unfold when we leap into something new. Trust that you will be fully supported and do it afraid. Take one small action step today to build momentum and confidence. Trust in yourself. You can do this. And remember, we were talking about crossing things off a list. That is another way to help you build your confidence, to see that, look how much I've accomplished, or looking back and saying, look how far I am, look how far I've come. That should build your confidence and give you the proof that you need to know that, yes, I can do it. And the mantra that goes with this card is, I can do hard things, and you absolutely can. I also wanted to pull some cards from the affirmations deck. And I believe that everything that fell out is exactly what aligns with this message today, and it's just perfect. The first one is being present. I'm able to be fully present and engaged with what is happening right now. I am in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Yesterday is a memory, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift, which is why it's called the present. Be fully saturated, fully immersed in all the joy, love, and uncertainty around us. Are you able to allow yourself to just be in the now without dwelling on the past or worrying about the future? We had a guest speaker who spoke to our students, and he said this, and I've heard this before many times, and you've probably heard me talk about it before, but I wanted to reiterate this. He said that the rear view mirror in the car is small for a reason, because you're not going that way. Don't spend too much time looking backwards, and don't spend too much time trying to look forward, or you may have an accident. Instead, focus on what's right in front of you. That's what we do every single day. When we look to the future, it makes us anxious. When we dwell on the past, we might feel guilt or shame. So being in the now and being fully present is where it's at. The next card that came out is believe. I believe in myself. I trust myself to make the right decision. And this comes with being fully aware of what you want in your life and having the boundaries to say no when it's not something that feels like a soul yes. Believing in yourself is important because it allows you to tap into your inner strength and resilience. It helps you to stay focused and determined, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. When you have faith in your own abilities, you are more likely to take risks, step outside of your comfort zone, and seize new opportunities. Visualizing your desired outcomes can enhance your self-belief and motivation. Picture yourself achieving your goals and succeeding in what you set out to do. Write down the perfect scenario and keep that outcome in mind as if it already happened. Believe you can do it because you can. And then we have the power of words and thoughts. You know how much I love that because it's so true. Our thoughts shape our reality. I am in control of my reality. Words and thoughts are powerful because they are the building blocks of our beliefs and attitudes. They have the ability to shape our perception of ourselves and the world around us, influence our emotions, and they even impact our physical health. The thoughts you choose to believe and the words you choose to say are forming your experiences and your reality. Listen to what you say. Cultivate a daily habit of nurturing thoughts and speaking words that align with your desired outcome. Even when we're joking, when we say things that are negative, we are actually influencing what's happening to our reality. We influence what happens around us, whether you believe that or not. And if you don't believe me, then I challenge you this. For at least one whole day, try to watch everything you say and every thought that comes into your head. And when something negative comes in, I want you to flip it. You're going to reframe that thought, reframe that whatever you said, and you're going to change it. So if you say to yourself, I'm so lazy, nope, we're going to reframe that. I am busy doing all of the things that light up my soul, and I'm learning how to say no to things that no longer light up my soul. Flip the script. Change what you're saying. Change what you're thinking. It's easy to get into that victim mentality. And once you get into it, it's a lot harder to get out of, but it is possible. The sooner we catch those words and phrases that are not serving us, the easier it is to shift it and to stay shifted into that higher vibration. What is perfect is the next card is happiness. I am focused on being happy today. Happiness is a choice, not a result. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy. No person can make you happy unless you decide to be happy. Your happiness will not come to you. It can only come from you. Pick a positive thought that you have. Allow the feeling to spread through your body. Feel the happiness that it brings. Sometimes you have to fake it to make it, and they say that because at first you may have to come up with thoughts that maybe you aren't thinking. But eventually we start to believe that, and our brains start to believe that, and then that starts to become our reality. So start with one thought. What's one happy thought you can tell yourself today? One of the things I love is I feel so much love, joy, and abundance in my life. Maybe at the moment you don't feel it, but start saying that to yourself and see how things start to shift. The last card we have today is strength. I am resilient and strong. You are stronger than you know, and every challenge is an opportunity for growth. You have enough strength to conquer your darkest fears. Every step you take brings you one step closer to your goals. Keep moving forward. You are capable of achieving greatness. What is your biggest strength, and how can you help it to grow? You know, people who are truly great don't focus on their weaknesses. They focus on their strengths, and then they allow those strengths to help them improve their weaknesses. Everyone has strengths in one area or another, and we all also equally have weaknesses. But people who are successful know that the weaknesses don't really matter. We can know what they are and identify them, but are we going to focus on those? No. We're going to focus on the things that make us great. We're going to focus on those things that are our strengths. Other things will come, right? We can always work on the weaknesses. But you don't start off in a job interview saying what you're bad at, right? I really think I deserve this job because I'm impatient. What? No. Nobody's going to hire you. That's ridiculous. We don't start off a job interview that way. We start off listing the things we're good at, the things that are our strength, the reasons why they should hire us. And if you would present yourself to an employer that way, you need to present yourself to yourself that way. Another challenge is to make a list of all of the things that you consider to be your strengths. Another thing I would challenge you to do is to ask someone else what they think your strengths are, because we're much more critical of ourselves than we could ever be for anyone else. And there are often times you have strengths you don't even see or realize are there that other people see in you. Believe that you're worthy of all things. You're worthy of having a beautiful day. So take the time to set your intention every morning. Take time for yourself. Do some self-care. Be very, very lenient on yourself, okay? You're way too hard on yourself. You're a badass. There's nothing you can't do. It's time for you to recognize that in yourself. Remember to set healthy boundaries, saying yes only when something feels like a soul yes. Be present in your everyday life. Shape your life through your words and your thoughts. Believe in yourself and remember how strong you are, and know that happiness is an inside job. And that is something that you have to cultivate for yourself. I hope that you guys have an amazing week. If you want to work with me, I offer readings, I offer healing sessions, and I offer coaching sessions. All of that is available on my website at melissaoatman.com. If you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening, because that helps to boost my podcast so it gets it out to people who might need it. But the greatest compliment you can pay me is to share it with anyone you think might benefit. If you want to follow me on New Reality TV, it is a channel much like Gaia TV, where there are creators from all over who do amazing things. And the subscription service is now free. So if you want to go and subscribe, you will have the availability to watch everything on that channel for free. So I highly encourage you to go check out newrealitytv.com. I hope that you guys have so many blessings that you see coming in for you this week. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.